Steve McCurry is an American photojournalist who is well known for his portrait work. He is originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and is a member of the photographic cooperative Magnum Photos. He got his start in photojournalism at Penn State University, where he studied theater arts and worked for a local paper. Having started as a freelance photographer in India, Steve McCurry has gone on to photograph magazine covers, book covers, and several of his own exhibitions. McCurry is well known for his photographic coverage of wars such as the Iran-Iraq War, the Gulf War, and the Afghan Civil War, and several others. His most notable work was this head-on photo entitled Afghan Girl of a young Pashtun orphan in a refugee camp near Pakistan in 1984. The photo was published in National Geographic magazine and went on to be called the most recognized photograph in National Geographic history. Almost a decade later, McCurry and National Geographic famously tracked down the previously unknown woman in the photograph, and she was identified as Sharbat Gula. Now to analyze some of his other works, this portrait is entitled Rajasthan, India. McCurry tends to name his photographs after their geographic location, and this one depicts an older Indian man with paint splattered across his face. This head-on photograph expertly uses the modal affordance of color by having paint or gulal splattered on his face during Holi, the festival of colors. Another way that McCurry makes this photograph striking is his use of negative space in the background of the portrait. By creating the negative space, the details and colors on the man's face are much more prominent and striking to the viewer. McCurry does a good job of explaining a cultural significance such as the Festival of Colors through the use of this portrait, and although there's a lack of expression in the man's face, his eyes are full of expression as they gaze directly back at the viewer. This next image was taken in Afghanistan of a young boy in a classroom setting. Again, the use of color is what attracts the viewer to the image, with the analogous colors of yellow, green, and blue being featured. The picture also employs the use of side lighting on the young boy's face, highlighting his look of focus and concentration, and combines it with the gestural representation of classroom body language. While it is unclear what the boy is listening to or how exactly he feels about it, the image goes beyond what is going on in that exact moment. This photo contrasts the uniformity of this school through the use of the same headwear among the students with individualism by focusing on one student in the front of the photo. This final image is an excellent example of background control taken in India. Because of the rain and the fog on the car door window, the background image of the woman and child are out of focus yet still manage to capture the attention of the viewer. This could be because of the brightness of her clothing, or perhaps the clarity of her hand pressed against the glass and the child's eyes looking directly at the viewer. This is a powerful image to a viewer despite the lack of context, because it shows a woman and child seemingly trying to get out of the rain and into the security of the car, taken from the perspective of the sheltered car itself. This image could cause the viewer to feel a sense of empathy towards them, which is amplified through the use of the other photographic devices that were just mentioned. Steve McCurry's work is important because it gives viewers a glimpse into both war-torn and underdeveloped countries through vibrant and memorable photos. His work ranges from being interpretive to ethically evaluative. Throughout his career, Steve McCurry has won numerous awards for his photos and has shared them with the world through his books and exhibitions.